the event concludes. Will be placed on YouTube for posterity, and we are currently broadcasting live on YouTube. So wave to the four people who are watching right now, but I'm sure there'll be more. There'll be more over the course of the evening. So with that, I would just simply ask if people can kindly keep their mics on mute so that no extraneous noise comes in. And if you have any technical issues, you can send me a direct message in the chat. The chat is open. And I think that's all the technical announcements that I had at this time. I may put something in the chat, but other than that, I will turn it over to the Communication Department Chair, Dr. Tom Gardner.
And I'm going to turn it over to the Communication Club coordinators of the event, Madison Dufries and Anna Brodsky, to sort of introduce the event and get us started.
All right, hello everyone, and welcome to the Common Department celebration of the class of 2021. I'd like to welcome our professors. Thank you for putting this together. President Saigo and his wife, hello. I can't see if everyone's here yet, but Dean Emily Todd will be here. We have an alumni, and Rand possibly popping in to speak, and our possibly as well, Linda Thompson, our incoming president. So congratulations to all the seniors. I'm very proud of you. We're gonna miss you. And I am the co-president of the Comm Club, so I'd like to special shout out to Katie Robrish, my co-president, who joined with me this semester to help out, and I'll pass it over to Hannah.
Just to reiterate what Maddie said, congratulations, guys. It's been a long and tough year, and I'm sure you're all very excited with graduation happening yesterday and the festivities you may have going on with your family and such. And we're so excited that you guys took the time to come and celebrate with us. Being in the classroom and being around with you guys has been so great and so wonderful, and I'm smiling so big seeing some of my friends right now. I'm just trying to see if everyone is here to introduce a speaker. But I think we might have to go off schedule a little bit and go into awards. Maddie, are you seeing Aaron?
She's got weather stuff going on in Dallas. So we're gonna, I think, start with President Saigo and his wife, and then we'll see when she comes in.
And that was a great introduction. Without further ado, President Saigo.
Well, thank you, everybody. And Dr. Barbara Saigo is here with me, and we've been together as faculty and as administrators. And so she's an integral part of our team. And here we are in the Northeast. When we start off in July, we thought it was forever. And now we have only about another month. I have something like 50 some odd days coming to me because we didn't take much time, you know, every weekend, evenings, holidays, we were here in our room, and our big trip was to the Big Y. And then we'd visit historical sites such as cemeteries because there weren't any live people there, right? We hoped. And so we saw a lot of history. But anyway, we just wanted to be here and say a few words. But, you know, communication, again, we all know is so important. And having had 5 commencements, actually we had planned 7. And I don't know how we would have survived because I was pretty dead by Friday evening at 8 o'clock. And so I was ready to put my feet up today on Sunday. And I thought about how important communication was. And, you know, you have alumni who have done exceptionally well. You have former President Liz Priston, you have Provost Prushank. Yeah, I mean, you have just numbers of wonderful leaders. And that I just wanted to recognize that you have a very exceptional leader and chair, Tom Gardner. And here I was going to just put my feet up and relax and maybe have a libation. Then he writes me a letter. And he softens it up. And I can't remember exactly, Tom, but you said something like, Saigo, you remind me of Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. And Ginger Rogers did everything Fred Astaire did, but she did it on high heels and walking backwards. I guess that's a compliment, Tom. So, you know, he kind of softened me up, right? Remember, I was going to put my feet up. And then he talked about usually the COM students put together this program, and he would invite Barbara and I to a white tablecloth event with 60 some odd awardees and major speakers and such. So that got my attention too. So I got crawled further and further into the trap. And then he said the coup de grace, that it'd be white tablecloth, but no calories. So he got me sucked in even further. And then he said it was by Zoom, which then took me, you know, he had already got me and caught me in the trap. And I was too late to crawl out. And so here I am. And I just felt that I needed to greet all of you because this is such a wonderful event. And I think this is an example, students, of how communication works. You allow people to do the things that they want to do and to convince them that this is the right thing, and Tom did that. And I appreciate, Tom, very much the invitation and sincerity on how you invited me to attend your special event. The other thing that you have all experienced is that, you know, friendship, and Chris and I have a wonderful relationship, but if you think about it, friendship usually takes place, you know, in dorms, eating meals, going through some really difficult times together to forge our friendship, cry together, laugh together, and hug over time. But we did that all on Zoom this year. And it's a strange behavior, because as many of you know, and I know Tom Gardner now, and I see him as a friend, and Chris and others, but that friendships have been now created through Zoom without all the things I had just mentioned. And so we have a whole nother dimension of building friendship that I never would have accepted if you all told me that this is possible. And so again, you know, the thing we miss the most, Barbara and I both, is that our friendships, first of all, energizes us with our relationship with students. You're the people who make our jobs so enjoyable and fill me full of enthusiasm and adrenaline because of the future that you all are looking forward to, and that we are part of your path and guiding you to where you need to be. And sometimes coaching and advising and mentoring, and yes, even scolding you. But that's the thing that we gain from our relationship with you. And then the faculty, and staff, I couldn't think of anybody better. And the things that I said at the beginning, before coming, I studied every faculty person, your degrees, the year that you started, and that we have such quality here, and they care about you. And like I said at graduation, we treat every student as if you are our own family. And so again, thank you all so much. And I'm gonna pass it on to Barbara. She always has a few wise things to say. So Tom, thank you for the invitation.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here too. We really regret that we haven't been able to be places in person and to get to know in person, because having been associated with various universities, well, we got married in 54 years ago, and we've been involved in higher education ever since then. And we both were faculty members together and then moved in different directions. But we always had students over to our home. We had international students who didn't have a place to go over Thanksgiving or Christmas come over to our house. And just overall, we were in, and, you know, and later on there were weddings and babies and things like that, celebrating people's lives as they moved on. And I guess that leads me into just saying, I do hope that those of you who are our students will say thank you to the faculty members who helped you the most and whom you appreciate the most. And don't lose touch. But if you do lose touch, even if it's like 10, 15 years from now, drop them a line, find them, send them an email, send them a postcard, something fun about your life and what you're doing, because that's meaningful for both of you. I know that Roy and I have stayed in touch with a lot of our students, which is a real treasure. Thank you all and congratulations, those of you who are graduates. Wow, I'm so excited for you. Who knows what's going to happen next? Just enjoy the ride, okay? Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. We're going to sign off, and I appreciate the opportunity. And I guess we're having a university celebration, I believe, on the 26th. And we'll be riding into the sunset and celebrating that the university got through the COVID with not too much difficulty. And I appreciate all of what you have done above and beyond the call of duty. So again, thank you, guys. And I hope the Dallas storm blows over, Tom.
He's here, so.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Roy. Take care.
Thank
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 you.
you, Barbara.
Bye-bye.
so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I noticed that our keeping on the theme here, our incoming president, Linda Thompson, has just joined us, and I know she has to sort of pop in and pop back out because she's got her own commencement things going on at UMass Boston. So before we get to our guest speaker, hoping that a tornado doesn't pop up in the next 2 minutes, I just want to introduce Linda Thompson so you all can meet her. She comes to us with a lot of experience, both in the political realm and the educational realm, having worked in a mayor's office in Baltimore, a governor's office in Maryland, numerous institutions, degrees from Wayne State and from Johns Hopkins, and a real interest in numerous issues that we care about, delinquent incarceration, mental health, social justice. And one of the things I loved about her interviews was she was a candidate who put some emphasis on the need to develop anti-racist consciousness among not just our students, but beyond. And so Linda, I want to give you a chance to just come in and say hello, because I know you've got a busy day, and then we'll get back to our weather reporter or
Thank you, Professor Gardner, for allowing me to be here this afternoon in celebration of some wonderful graduates from the communication department at Westfield State University. And you're entering a time in our country where people who understand how to communicate, people who understand how to create a narrative around social justice and promoting healthy societies is so critical right now. How to develop messages that can talk about fact and not fiction. So I am just really thrilled to meet you on this Zoom room and to just nudge you a little bit to think about the lessons that you've learned on Westfield's campus, the importance of how you communicate messages correctly, and the importance of the values that you developed while you were here, partnering with your faculty members and getting to know them and understanding their passion and how the passion that they instilled in you could benefit someone else later on in life. And I just want to echo what Barbara Saigo was saying in terms of relationship building with your faculty members, but not only the faculty members, but it's people who you went to school with and the people who will be involved with you as you develop your careers. So much of what you are going to be doing, we don't know yet what that will look like, because knowledge is just shifting. The world of work is changing so much, but just remember that you were blessed to be around a lot of passionate faculty. You were blessed to be around like-minded thinkers. And I really want to stay connected with you. I'm sure the faculty in the college and the university want to stay connected with you, because the alumni, the graduates from the university are the links to future graduates and future students. And we just want you to stay connected. Once you're connected to Westfield, you'll always be connected to Westfield. And I just am thankful that Professor Gardner asked me to come and be with you this afternoon. I'm going to be on campus later in the week just to start to know the campus better, to get to know the people. And if you see me around, just walk up to me and say hello. I hope you will all think that I'm just approachable. So thank you so much. And I'll turn it back over. I'd love to be able to stay and hear from the graduate from our university, but thank you for your willingness to share your journey and share your story with them. Any questions you have, I can answer a few right now before I leave, but I'm just so happy to see all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. I think we're going to save the questions because we don't know what the weather is in Dallas, but we can see Erin working as we're watching her little box there. She's working. So if you could stay a few extra minutes, I'm going to want to go to her next. I'm assuming that works for you, Erin.
It does, yes.
Okay, well that's
For
good.
now, thank you.
That's good. That means there's no tremendous catastrophe going on right now. So let me just do a quick introduction to my former student of numbers of us here. Erin graduated in 2012 with concentrations in both journalism and media arts and analysis. She was active in the TV production club. She worked on the newscast, the WSU TV. She worked on the production crew for As Schools Match Wits. And she had 3 internships, one of which I got to visit her in, which was the David Letterman show, but also Maddie in the Morning, the radio show at KISS 108, WGGB TV in Springfield. And she's now a meteorologist at the CBS affiliate in Dallas-Fort Worth, which is an incredible market, especially for weather reporting, which is the weather is the news in Dallas-Fort Worth, as we're just about to discover. She joined that team in December of 2019. Spent about 3 years working as a meteorologist at Waco, Texas, after taking that turn in her career, and worked at TV stations in Springfield, Mass, Albany, New York, Charlotte, North Carolina, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And I think that's all your story. I'm going to tell. I'm going to let you tell the rest. Except that just say in your bio that in your free time you love to be outside with your husband and your 2 dogs, Nala and Willow. So
Yes. And
we usually bring pets on screen. You know, we like to. Maddie really likes to bring her cat, but I'll turn it over to Erin.
thank you. I wish I could have my dogs here. That would probably, I think they'd be more popular at the station than I would be. But thank you so much for having me. I'm going to seem a little distracted, and I really hoped that wasn't going to be the case. We have rain in the forecast the next 9 days, and we are having a few storms spin up. So I've already been on TV a couple of times. At least I had my makeup done. My hair is not done, but I had hoped to be a little more presentable. So if you see me looking down, it's just because I'm looking at radar. And if you hear a little dinging, that is the National Weather Service chat, which is kind of in the background of my screen. So I'm here as long as I can be. we're just kind of watching a few storms right now. But first of all, congratulations to all of you graduates. This is pretty fitting, right? After a few of the strangest college years this century, you are getting a Zoom address from me via, all the way from Fort Worth, Texas. So just a little wild, but of course, this is what it's been for the last at least year and a half for all of you. So as Professor Gardner alluded to a little bit, I graduated in 2012. I was actually part of the first class that got to graduate from Westfield State University as opposed to Westfield State College. But that's just dating myself a little bit, which I think I'm going to do a little bit over the next few minutes. But I chose Westfield State to attend. I knew I wanted to go into journalism. My dream job was to be a news anchor for a Boston station. And I chose Westfield State because it got me far enough away from home. I grew up in Brockton, Massachusetts, so it was still about a 2-hour drive for me. But I also went because I thought it was a lot of bang for your buck, being an in-state resident and getting in-state tuition. So I definitely knew I needed to come with a lot of energy though, and I kind of hit the ground running. We mentioned a few of my internships. My first one was Maddie in the Morning, and that kind of got me introduced to the terrible morning hours in media, but I had no idea what was to come because I promise you, I have done way worse hours since then. Of course, David Letterman. I lived in New York City for 5 months. That was from January of 2011 to May of 2011. And that was a blast. And Professor Gardner got to come and see the office building. And then, we went in the underground tunnel between the office building and the Ed Sullivan Theater. Hopefully most of you know who David Letterman is. I mentioned that I was probably going to date myself. He retired back in 2015. So if you don't know him, hopefully you know Stephen Colbert, because that's who took over for him when David Letterman retired. But my final internship and kind of culminating what I was trying to do from the get-go was working for WGGB TV in Springfield, or interning for them. And that was, at the time, they were the ABC and Fox affiliate. I think that may still be the case. But I interned there my last semester of college, and I graduated in May, and I was hired in June. But it was not easy, as many media jobs are not. I started out as a production assistant, so the very bottom of the totem pole. I was making $10 an hour. I was part-time, even though I was, 3 out of the 4 weeks of the month, I would work 40 hours, but then that 4th week, they would just give me 32 hours to keep me part-time so that they didn't have to pay me benefits. One of the many joys you will find working in television media, if you ever do. But I was, editing video, I was running cameras, I was doing web, trying to do everything I could to get myself an opportunity to fill in report. And eventually I got the chance to. I was on the schedule. I remember it so clearly. It was a Friday in December. I had been watching the news that morning because when you go into the news station for your news shift, you've got to pitch stories. What are you going to turn that day? What's your story going to be? And I was ready to come prepared. And so I was watching the news that morning, and there was a strange story coming out of Connecticut where there might have been a shooting at a school, and it looked like maybe a teacher might have been shot in the foot, but other than that, everything was okay. So that was in the morning. And then by the time I actually was going to babysit, and by the time I left babysitting, what was unfolding was the Newtown, Connecticut massacre. So that was my first day of reporting, fill-in reporting, and I bring that up just because it's going to come into play with the next job I took, which was eventually a full-time job. And it was in Albany, New York. It was at the cable news station. I was hired to be an MMJ bureau reporter. So bureau meaning I was in a building separate from the main station, MMJ meaning I was doing everything. And I'm sure most of you know this at this point. I was shooting my own video, I was writing my story, I was conducting my interviews, I was editing my package, I was writing the web story. These were long days, they were exciting days, they were grueling days, and they were stressful too. And this kind of goes back to my first experience on camera the day that there was the Newtown, Connecticut school shooting. I told a lot of really, really hard stories as my time went on as an MMJ, a reporter, a fill-in anchor. I won't get into the details, but I know if you've been watching the news, you know, it's kind of one of the biggest complaints. Oh, the news only ever covers negative stories, right? And that's not by choice. We have an obligation that we have to tell all of you what happened that day, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But it was really wearing on me. A lot of stories having to do with kids and abuse, and it was just so sad. And you know, I'm working these crazy hours and I'm not making a ton of money and I'm exhausted and I'm mentally drained. And this leads me to my first of many, but my first adult life crisis. You know, I told you I started at Westfield in 2008 and I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And I was on that path in my entire college career. And now 2 years into this business, I've been working towards this. And I'm thinking to myself, am I already going to give up? You know, this is what I wanted to do. And I had to ask myself a lot of personal, you know, moral and ethical questions. Which is a hard thing to do, because the education that I got at Westfield to being able to navigate this, because in the communication department, not only do we have the opportunity to have a hands-on education, but we get a theoretical and ethical education as well, where we are taught to challenge norms and think critically and get below the surface. And that's not something that you get from communication degrees at other schools. So I felt very fortunate that I had already gone through, just at my time at Westfield State, having the ability to sort of think critically about where I was and what I wanted to do, and how I could keep my education sort of wrapped in that. And I was able to give myself the grace and the flexibility to pump the brakes and kind of regroup a little bit. And eventually I took a step back. I quit my job in Albany, and I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and just took a video editing job at a TV station. And so that's a big step back. You know, I was on camera and I was editing video on the weekends, but eventually I met my weather mentor in Charlotte. He was the chief meteorologist, and I had been in news. We had been covering, weather is a huge story in news, and we had been covering major weather events. And he eventually encouraged me to go back to school. We'll also say, I don't think I could have done if I hadn't gone to Westfield State, because again, you get a lot of bang for your buck at Westfield State. And I did have to take out student loans. I still have student loans. But if I had gone to one of the schools that was $40,000, $50,000 a year at the time, and now I think they're closer to $60,000, $70,000 a year to school for weather, but I did, and now here I am. I was persistent. I was flexible. Persistence and flexibility and grace, you know, because that's what was successful for me. And all of you have already had to do so much of that. You have had to be more flexible and more persistent in the last year and a half to 2 years than I ever had to be at Westfield State. I mean, you are in a once in a century pandemic, and here you are celebrating graduating. That is a huge accomplishment, and you wouldn't have been able to do it without the flexibility and without the persistence to keep going. You could have given up. You could have said, I want to defer, or, this is just too crazy for me, but you made it happen. And these lessons, these questions that you've been asking in classes over Zoom, and these lessons that you've gained finishing your degrees through a pandemic are going to help you as you enter this economy, this workforce. And so I just ask you to keep being flexible, keep being persistent, and give yourself grace. This is a tough economy. We are, pandemic / post-pandemic. I think it still looks a little more pandemic-like in Massachusetts compared to here in Texas. We're going with a little bit more post-pandemic at this point, but I won't get into the politics of all of that. But when I graduated, the economy was still recovering from the 2008 economic crash, and it was not a good time to be in media. But the world, the economy has a way of, it's got ebbs and flows, and things are going to be okay. You just have to continue to strive to work hard and to be flexible. And when I say be flexible, it's okay for your goals to change, right? I started at Westfield State and I wanted to be a Boston news anchor, and I really struggled when that was no longer the path that I thought I wanted to go on. But I kept my goals visualized, and I was able to kind of deal with the winding roads and the hurdles and the forks in the road that I came to across, and now here I am. And so I am just so excited for you all. I know that you have, I'm sure it's not what you envisioned, how you wanted your final years at Westfield to go, but it is going to serve you well. You're going to be okay. You're going to be ready, maybe more ready than I ever was and that others ever were to kind of go out there and achieve your dreams. But it's okay if those dreams change, even if it's something as big as, well, I thought I wanted to be a news anchor and now I'm going to go back to school to be a meteorologist. Or if it's something as big as, I want more of a work-life balance and I'm not getting that with the path that I'm on right now. Or I just want to provide more money for my family or my life. Those things are all okay. You just have to allow yourself to be flexible and allow yourself to be persistent, and you will be just fine. So congratulations. Well done. Craziest years. You are definitely going to have some stories to tell in the years ahead. We are all so proud of you. I know these professors are so proud of you, and I am grateful and honored that you gave me just a few minutes to share my story, and hopefully it resonates with a lot of you.
Thank you so much, Erin.
Yeah. You wanted to say?
Yeah, I was just gonna, express gratitude and grace for you sharing your story and inspiring us through your actions and what you did. And I think for any Westfield student and graduate, it's really wonderful to see alumni doing great things out in the world. And like you said, it was not your plan when you were here, but you ended up in a great place thanks to, those things that you learned here. And, highlighted some really important things like chasing your opportunities and, noticing that what you're passionate about may not come easily and may have obstacles. And definitely just a huge inspiration to media and journalism majors. Just a cool story of climbing the totem pole and figuring out what you want to do. So thank you so much for coming. And obviously you're welcome to continue to watch this celebration as we recognize the amazing things that our students have done. we're going to find a quick second to pause before we go into everything about the students. Yes, this is your day, and we want to highlight you all. I'm just going to head it over to Professor Gardner again to introduce his colleague.
Thank you, Hannah. So one little thing not so little actually, that we're doing, sadly, is saying a temporary farewell to our wonderful colleague, Professor Nigel Dobereiner, who at his young, tender age has decided to retire for some reason. He actually came to our department's faculty in 2002. Like many others of us, he had considerable professional experience before becoming a college professor. He had managed, he'd marketed, he'd developed an online presence for multiple clients, numerous things and more. And he brought that experience to the classroom. But he brought a lot more because in the world he was teaching in the technical world especially, one cannot sit back and rely on previous knowledge or experience, right? So fortunately, he brought a dedication to teaching that meant staying constantly current in a rapidly changing world. Took some work. Just to give you some perspective of what someone teaching web design and other technologies, social media related courses has had to keep up with. Nigel came to the classroom the same year that LinkedIn was created. It was 2 years before Facebook. It was 3 years before YouTube, which we're on now. It was 4 years before Twitter and 5 years before the iPhone. So that meant every one of those years, he needed to keep up with everything that was coming out, as well as updates of Adobe and Photoshop and all those other things. So, which I won't try and say because I don't know them all that well. We rely on the colleagues who do, like Matty Cahill. So it was really 6 years after he started, I think that one of the new developments came along that's really going to serve him well in retirement. And that was Airbnb, which came along 6 years after he started teaching. So anybody teaching in that arena had to keep up with all those changes. And in fact, one of our colleagues, the late and wonderful Henry Weffing, used part of his sabbatical leave to take Nigel's course in web design, so his multimedia journalism class would be up to date. That's dedication. Nigel was our pioneer in that field, really taking the lead and sort of getting the department established as a place where students could hone their skills with the most current communication technology. But Nigel didn't just teach technical and web design courses. The almost 20 years that he's been teaching here, seen huge social dislocation, massive distortions of reality in certain media, attacks on legitimate journalism. So in his introduction to mass communication and comm theory classes, he's helped students understand the forces that shape our media landscape and to foster in our students a sharper, more critical eye, or what we call media literacy. Beyond those contributions, many of you have encountered him as our internship coordinator. Nigel inherited a very good internship program that was built up by a former colleague, Don Treadwell, and he then took it to an even higher level. We like to brag to potential applicants as well as throughout the Westfield community about our stellar internship program, but it was Nigel that really has put it there. And it really prepares students for future careers, as you heard from Erin's talk, how critical those internships were to her developing the skills to go into the career. So for this and much more, like your fun sense of humor, Nigel, your thoughtful participation in all of our deliberations, your devoted advising, your committee work in the department across the campus, and your excellent heritage tomato crop, which we would get samples of every September, we're going to miss you. But we wanted to give you something to remember us by. So we put a few together and got you a Super Bugger, which is the 1977 remake of the Volkswagen Bug. It sleeps too. It has a little pull-out stove there that you can cook on the outside. You don't have to smoke it too much on the inside. This one's carpeted. It's up for auction. So you're welcome to. We're going to give you a little stake, a few silver dollars to go to the auction and see if you can get that. If you don't, however, we have something else that you can use. I've got here somewhere. Here, let's see. That you can use in your if you don't have the sleeper Volkswagen bugger, you'll have this hammock, which can tie on to any trees with straps, doesn't need nails and things. It's amazing. I have one like it. And while you're relaxing in the hammock, we got you one of the most important books to come out in the last decade or so, called The Sum of Us, What Racism Cost Everyone and How We Can Prosper Together. It's an amazing book. It tells the story of how crazy racism has been through the story of swimming pools. You know, closing swimming pools rather than desegregating them, filling them up with dirt, etc. But it's much more than that. It's really a history of racism in the United States that's told in a tremendously narrative, powerful way by an amazing reader. So I urge everyone to read that. So when you and I meet on campus so I can get the keys to the executive washroom and other things that you need to turn over, I'll give you those gifts because I can't squeeze them through. We're not quite there yet with technology that I can get through the screen. So best of luck, live long and prosper. And what is it? It's like that. And I'm going to ask Nigel if he would like to say a few words.
Well, thank you, Tom. That was a really nice send off. I really appreciate it. It's really you know, a weird feeling to be here doing this. Tom did give me a heads up that I might be asked to say something, and I didn't realize that until about half an hour before we came. And he mentioned gardening, and I thought, oh, well, there's a great metaphor. I'll just go out there and I'll talk about, you know, watching things grow and nurturing them and all that. And I thought, well, our students, a bunch of seedlings, you know, and it's like, I did grow them from seed, but I really don't know. I don't think I have that role with any of you, but it's like, then is it more important when they're producing fruit? And I thought, no, I'll get rid of it. What I'm talking about, it seems, is a transition. And I'm transitioning into something different. Don't really know what it is yet, but I know where I've been. But you guys, this is really your day for transitions. It's an amazing thing. You come to us from, you know, your K through 12 days, and you enter college, really a young child in a way. And in 4 years, the transition, the change that you go through, and this is your launch. You're starting this huge adventure called life. And as it was mentioned by President Zygo, we do love seeing what you do. You know, you move on in life, not just professional accomplishments, which are notable, but also your building friendships, developing families, and all the things you do. And we all feel so proud every time, because you make this happen. You have come this far. You've weathered all our complaints and grating meshigas, and you know, it's a wonderful thing to be a part of that. So in a way, even though I'm transitioning out, I've always been a part of this transitional state that people have been in, and it's really a fun and exciting stage in life to be a part of. So I thank you, and I thank my colleagues. I think you all know that your colleagues care so much for you, and I can't say this enough. I know them all personally, and every one of them really cares about the students. There's just no question about it. And I know that's not true in every department, but this department, it's the first thing on our minds when we talk about something, and it's like, well, gee, how can we make sure that it works out well? So
thanks a lot. Great.
I guess that's the hook. I gotta, but thank you very much for that, Tom, and thank you all for giving me a wonderful experience in life. And I look forward to seeing your great accomplishments, and congratulations to the class of 21. Thanks.
I think that ends my task. I see John Paulman has joined us, and he's new to Zoom, so he doesn't know where the mute button is yet. So John, it's over there on the bottom left of the screen. And unless you want to say something, of course, you just click on that button. And then if you're talking off to the side, we can't hear it.
It's okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's all right. It's all right.
We're all still learning.
Yes.
So happy you could join us.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you.
So I'm going to this is the end of my part. I'm going to shut up now. And Hannah and Maddie are going to take it back over, and we will be led by our students.
As we should. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the student portion of the presentation of the night. There are a couple of awards and scholarships that are within our department that are used to recognize and, represent different skills and different assets that kids are bringing, students, people at this point, we're adults, are bringing to our community. So we're going to have our professors speak a little bit about the award in a couple of sentences and then present the awards to the students. Professors, are you ready for that? We're going to start with a slideshow. Is everybody seeing that? Thumbs up?
Yes.
Cool. No, it's great. I think our first presenter is the lovely Miss Preston.
I am waiting for my slide. So I am really happy to be presenting the Academic Excellence in Communication Award today. And the reason I'm stumbling is because I'm actually just in such awe of these three women. The Academic Excellence in Communication Award goes each year to the communication student who has the highest grade point average in communication courses. And this year, we actually are giving the award to three women, all of whom is graduating with a perfect 4.0 in communication courses. Danielle, Caitlin, and Thalita have done kind of the unimaginable, particularly given what the last 18 months have looked like. And I cannot say enough about how proud we are of you. And really, I have no words for it other than I am really in awe that you have managed to pull off a 4.0 in all of your communication classes. And by which I mean all of your communication classes, despite all of the upheaval and difficulties of the past year and a half. I think that that's really kind of an exceptional accomplishment. And we're extremely proud of you.
For the next award, we're going to have the lovely Maddie Cahill presenting the Judith White LaFond Award. Maddie, you're muted.
See, you would think after a whole year of Zoom. Thank you, Hannah. This is a very special award to us. It's the first award that the comm department established, and it's named after a student named Judy White. And it is named after Judy because back in the early 80s, when Professor Ed Abar was striving to get the comm department established, he had to find a student who would work with him, who would advocate from the student perspective for why we needed an entire new department and the study of communication, a degree in communication. So Judy White was an English major because there weren't any comm majors, but she worked with Ed getting student petitions signed, going to college curriculum meetings, advocating for a communication department, even though she didn't personally wind up benefiting from it, which is really kind of the spirit of social change, is working on something that people who come after you will benefit from. Judy, when Judy married, her name became Judith White LaFond, and the award is given to a graduating comm major who has a combination of academic excellence and dedication to the department. This year's award winner is Jenna DeLisi, who of course has a superb academic record, but yes, Grace, I totally agree. Jenna absolutely deserves this award. In fact, last year when we were talking about the award, everyone was saying, "What year is Jenna?" So we couldn't wait for her to be a senior so we could give her this award. She's absolutely been the most dedicated student to the comm department from her first year, where she jumped right into WSU TV and As Schools Match Wits, and took on leadership roles in those. She's also served on our curriculum committee, and she's done an extraordinary job of documenting student experience during the pandemic. She's basically the person we turn to all the time if anything needs to be done in the department that a student can do or we need a student to do. Everyone's first thought is, let's call Jenna. So Jenna, you join the illustrious ranks of such famed past Judith White LaFond Award winners as Suzanne Boniface. So who knows, you might even wind up back here teaching with us someday, but we are so grateful for everything that you have done for us, and we think the world of you. Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you. Congratulations, Jenna. Well deserved.
So I got told that I had to give a speech, like a thank you speech. Is now the time to do it?
Yeah, no pressure.
So I heard through the grapevine that I had to give this speech. And then I heard that you were all joking that I would make a video of my speech. So I took it upon myself to do that. And I went up to the 3rd floor of the TV studio and I filmed my speech. So if someone would allow me to share my screen, I'll play it for you all.
Cullen, Gardner, Max. Should be happening.
You're all set. You're all set. You can share your screen.
Okay, awesome.
We'll need to stop the current screen share. Yep.
So just let me know if you can hear it and see it. Could you hear that? Good, okay.
First, I wanted to thank all of you for choosing me to receive this award. I can't thank you enough for the experience I had these last 4 years. I feel as though your college experience really depends on what you put into it, but it's different for this department because it is so noticeable that all of you care so much and want us all to succeed. If you asked me my freshman year if I would have stayed at Westfield State, my answer would have been no. There's a picture in the hallway of my class our freshman year, and it may not be noticeable, but I was actually in tears because I was so homesick. That week, I walked into the TV studio and built up the courage to ask Mark if he was hiring, and thankfully he was. The communication department soon turned into my second home. With that being said, I wanted to thank Mark and Alex for all they've taught me these last 4 years. They have taught me skills and given me opportunities that I may not have gotten in a classroom setting. I'm fast forwarding now to my senior year. Who would have thought we would be ending our time at Westfield State remotely due to a pandemic? Definitely not me, and I'm sure none of you either. Although Zoom classes are not what we would have preferred, you've all tried to make it normal and engage us as hard as that may have been. So many people talk about students and how we're missing out without recognizing that face-to-face interaction and learning is what a professor, faculty, and staff are all meant to do. And this online world was new to all of you, so I'm sure it was an even harder adjustment, and for that, I'm sure I can speak for everyone when I say we are very thankful. Finally, I wanted to thank Dr. Preston for all she's done for me these last 4 years, but specifically this year. Pre-pandemic, you were pushing me to study abroad, and I thought you were trying to get rid of me. But this year, mid-pandemic, I had the opportunity of working with you as your TA, discussing my documentary and future plans, and I am super appreciative that you have always pushed me to not undersell myself. I feel as though I could go on forever when talking about this department, but I will end with one final thank you. Thank you for not only being outstanding professors, but outstanding individuals who turned into friends. I hope things return to normal in the fall so you're able to get back to where you're supposed to be, the 3rd floor of Ely.
Thank you again.
I'm like emotional. That was really sweet and nice. Thank you for taking the time to do that. And it absolutely just literally goes to show, wow, sorry, your dedication and like your involvement and literally like embodies the award. So that was really great. I'm having a little bit of a hot flash and like a tear jerker right now. Thank you, Jenna. That was really awesome. I'm going to introduce Sanook to present the Outstanding Communication Skills Applied in the Community Award. Another tearjerker, honestly. Sanook, you're also still muted. Guys, we know this. Why is this happening?
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, I'm so excited and pleased to present this award, outstanding communication skills, apply in communication to these three students. As you know, the one of our department mission is to provide the balances, integrations of theory and balances, which we often see through our classrooms and internship work and also various the student environment on campus and community organizations. So particularly, this student show great understanding and knowledge skills in the practice of communication, and also demonstrate commitment in community engagement. So the winners are, Grace Boland and John Collins and Lindsay Stanigo. So congratulations, and you are rock. Yeah.
Thank you, Sanook, and congrats, Grace, John, and Lindsay. I've seen through being on campus with you guys that this is absolutely true. You take the skills and the lessons that we learn in our classes and apply them to your real life, and are definitely making positive impacts on our community. So thank you so much, and you guys will all definitely be missed. The next award, presented by our very own Yuan Zhang, is going to be the Outstanding Classroom Citizenship Award.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm so honored to present the Outstanding Classroom Citizenship Award. This award, as its title indicates, recognizes students as outstanding classroom citizens, and these three students that you see on the screen are exemplifications of that. And some of the things that the faculty said about them are show up prepared and ready to engage with the material, to think, and to get other classmates to think. Make the class, quote unquote, gel through their ethical and forward-moving participation, and go out of their way to assist classmates with projects or concepts. We all are so proud of you, Cheyenne Alcombright, Devin Nancy, Jonathan River. Congratulations, you rock, as I quote Chinook. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, another big congratulations to all those award winners. It's always so great to, see people getting recognized when you've experienced the things that they do in the classroom and outside of the classroom. And I've had the opportunity to work closely with two of these award winners, and I can definitely say that, their classroom presence is brightening and just bringing people together in a way to learn. Super awesome. The next award is going to be presented by Professor Gullen, and it's the Outstanding Contributions to the Comm Department.
All right. Well, it's good to see everybody here. I am very happy to be presenting the award for Outstanding Contributions to the Communication Department, which is an award that honors students who have contributed to the Communication Department and who are always there, who are always willing to help out and volunteer in various capacities. Some of these folks I've worked with throughout their years here. So I'm very proud to present these awards to Kaylee Houle, Catherine Rubbish, and Juliana Young. Congratulations to all of you.
All of these awards just, stand as a testament to how incredible the kids within our department are. Like all of these names and all of these people have contributed such incredible things to our department and to, the lives of our students and the lives of our professors. I'm just loving the recognition of this. I think it's really awesome. The final award we're going to do today is the Outstanding Dedication to Education Award, and Max is going to present this one.
Thank you, Hannah, for the introduction. For me, this award, Outstanding Dedication to Education, reflects our communication department. When I first came to the Westfield State University, one thing I realized was that the department and the faculty members really care about each one of the students. I was so surprised because I came from big university and where I really cared about what research we are doing, what kind of subject we are exploring, what kind of theory we are developing, and what we are publishing. Those are my focus and areas that I really had a pride. Then I participated in faculty meetings and started listening and talking to faculty members. And I quickly learned, wow, it's so true that they really care about students, each one of them. And here we have former Professor John Pullman, who I had great conversations. I have been having great conversations with about and learning and the teaching our profession and students. And again, this really, every student deserves this award because we do recognize that everybody has worked very hard. Everybody is fighting the battle and the hardship in your own way. But this year's award goes to Alan Walker, who couldn't be here today, but we also appreciate his dedication to education that he's been pursuing very hard. Thank you.
And that's all for the awards today. We're going to move on to some recognition for the campus media outlets. So I think this kid actually left a little bit earlier, sadly, but Professor Nimkoff, you can still take it away.
All righty, thanks, Hannah. Yeah, it's really a pleasure for me to recognize Chris Faluski and Janie Beardsley. Chris for his dedicated service over the past 2 years as the audio production director for WSKB, responsible for updating so many of our PSAs and station IDs and also regularly broadcasting his own wonderful show. And Janie Beardsley, who has been involved with the Westfield Voice, our campus newspaper, since she first arrived on campus, working her way up steadily from reporter to eventually serving this past year as editor-in-chief. Want to recognize her resilient work this past year when she kept the presses rolling during a pandemic and her dedication to the paper over the entirety of her 4 years here. So wonderfully generous, hardworking students whom it's our pleasure to acknowledge, both Chris and Janie, looking so forward to following their evolving media production work in the years ahead.
Yeah, thank you for that, Professor Nimkoff. It's super, I didn't know that universities did things like this before I came to a small school like this. I originally attended a large university with 26,000 undergrad, and there might have been a radio club, but I didn't know about it because there was so much going on. So coming to Westfield and hearing about this stuff and having friends that were in the club and doing shows and contributing to that stuff was just a really awesome way to enrich the community. So huge props to everyone that is involved in that, and especially to those 2 award winners. We have an award for the WSU TV Club, as well as the Golden Lens Cap Award. Honestly, I can present these because I'm not seeing the professor. So the recognition for these 2, the TV Club obviously is going to be made up of people who are interested in that. And I think that when any chance that you have to come together with people that are similar minded and are interested in the same thing as you is going to be an enriching experience. So the person that's receiving the TV Club Award has outstanding excellence, you know, in the studio in terms of technical things, in terms of deadlines and everything that they need to do with the club, but also in the sense of creating a nice environment to be around. And the Golden Lens Cap Award is, you know, representing somebody who has contributed great photo art enrichment to our community through forms of different media. And these two winners are, I'm not sure.
Liz, do you know? I mean, this is Mark St. Jean's award, right?
Yeah, I don't know. Marco is the one who's responsible for this, and I don't know.
Ooh.
Well, I'll tell you what, while we move on to something else, I will text him and ask him.
Okay.
Great, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And with, you know, being in communications, you learn you have to sometimes go with the flow and figure things out on the fly. So here we are being flexible and using one of the lessons that Erin spoke to us so wonderfully about earlier. We're gonna go ahead and read the introduction, or excuse me, read the names of the Lambda Pi Eta, the Honor Society inductees for this year. And if
looks like Chinook is trying to get your attention, Hannah.
Sorry, there's a lot going on my screen. Yes.
Oh, the scholarship first?
Oh, absolutely. So we have a couple scholarships. Originally, I was going to have Maddie introduce this, but we're going to switch it up for unbeknownst reasons. The scholarships are going out to people that have applied and, you know, gained these scholarships. Applying and reaching out for a scholarship, one, I think takes a lot of motivation and self-discipline to be able to know that you might need assistance and to know that you can reach out and do this. The people that are receiving these scholarships will, I know, use the education and the things that they're going to learn at this university to create positive changes in the world. And I'm excited to see what you guys do with your education and with your degrees. So the first scholarship, we're going to have Professor Nimkov, I think, introduce again.
Mark, you're muted.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I'll go ahead and introduce both scholarships. It's really my pleasure to do so, to recognize and honor this year's recipients of the Westfield Bank and Community Radio Scholarships, who are both outstanding students and actively engaged community members. Maddie Dufries, our Westfield Bank Scholarship winner, is a scholar athlete who plays for the WSU women's soccer team, serves as a co-president of the Communication Club, and beginning in the fall, will begin serving as the first ever female sports editor of the Westfield Voice. And Casey Becker, our Community Radio Scholarship winner, has likewise excelled both in and out of the classroom, recently earning high praise for her work as an intern in the Public Affairs Office at the Massachusetts Air National Guard 104th Fighter Wing. So congratulations to both of these very deserving scholarship winners.
Shirley, you can take it away.
Okay, so hi everyone. I'll be introducing the Dr. Edwin J. Barr scholarship. So Dr. Edwin J. Barr founded the communication department and was also an active member of the Kiwanis Club of Westfield. Dr. Barr believed that community service was the responsibility of every individual and that we all can contribute our quota to make our community a better place. So after Dr. Barr retired, he established the Barr Kiwanis Communication Scholarship with the help of the Kiwanis Club. And this allowed for a scholarship that was designed to recognize the value of academic achievement and community service. This scholarship is given to a student or sometimes students majoring in communication, and applicants must show their contribution to the university and or Greater Westfield community. Applicants must also be in their junior year with a minimum GPA, communication GPA of 3.30. This year, the ABA Aquinas Communication Scholarship Committee selected 2 recipients, Thomas Mispili and Brandon Moore, for their commitment to make a positive contribution to the university and community. Thomas is also an honors student. He's been mentoring honors. And then Brandon is an ex-military student, and he's been working in the Springfield community with young adults. Congratulations, Thomas and Brandon. I'm not sure they're here today, but congratulations to them.
For our last scholarship, I'm going to hand it over to Tom Gardner again.
Yes, so this is our scholarship that honors Henry Weffing, who taught our journalism courses for many, many years, and believed in some really basic principles of journalism: accuracy, fairness, and telling a good story. He also taught long form journalism when we offered it. As I said before, when I was talking about Nigel, he also believed in keeping up to date so he could keep his students up to date with multimedia journalism, and used part of his sabbatical to take a course from Nigel on web design. So that was the kind of dedication he had to his students. And his dedication to journalism and to the principles of journalism that we need so desperately in this country and the world right now were ones that he passed on to his students, generations of students. And so we wanted to establish the scholarship to reward and to support students who were going to carry those principles and values forward into their own journalism careers. So it was open to people who in communication and English who were pursuing or interested in pursuing a career in journalism, and it demonstrated some of that interest as well. And they write essays about that. And so our award this year, for next year, goes to Elizabeth Sears, who I believe is here. Emily Flewitt had to work, so she's not able to be here, but I think they both have demonstrated from their past activities as well as their essays, their passion for the kind of journalism that Henry believed in and taught. So congratulations to Elizabeth and Emily.
We're going to enter the next portion of our ceremony, which we're going to list and go through a quick slideshow of the Honor Society inductees. I can stay unmuted and read the names. Maddie, you want to switch off?
Have slides, or does someone else have the list?
I'm also happy to read names. Is there a slide with the names on it, Chinook?
No name on the slide.
Okay. Hannah and Maddie, are you going to do this? Or do you want me to?
You can go ahead. We don't have the names.
Yeah, we don't have the
Okay.
So it's all you.
Before reading the names, I just want to say that in order to be eligible to apply for membership in Lambda Pi Eta, a student has to have completed 60 semester credit hours in undergraduate education and have at least a 3.0 grade point average, overall grade point average, and they have to have completed at least 12 credit hours in communication and have at least a 3.25 grade point average in communication before they're eligible to apply. So all of our inductees have met those criteria and in most cases exceeded them. So our inductees for the class of 2021 were Danielle Boudreau, Grace Boland, Jenna DeLisi, Lila Kaplan, Jacqueline Mahoney, Kennedy McKelvey, Megan McLaughlin, Savannah Mendez, Thalita Neves, and Rebecca Rockney. We also inducted some faces that you are definitely seeing a lot of tonight from the class of 2022, Sabrina Barrasso, but also Madison Dufries, Olivia Falcone, and Emily Fluid. So those are our 2021 inductees.
Congratulations again. Maintaining good grades and great grades like that, especially during the past year, has been a challenge I think all of us have been presented with. And these Lambda Pi Eta inductees are just showing the possibility that we all have to have that kind of success academically, even when presented with such crazy things. We're gonna pass it over to Dean Emily Todd. I was just making sure she was still here for some words, and then students, we're gonna open the floor up to you guys for a little bit if you would like to share stories. So while listening intently to our to Emily, maybe stir on your back burner some stories that you might like to bring up. Without further ado, here you go, Emily.
Thank you so much, Hannah. I prepared remarks, but then I just listened to what everybody said and wanted to echo all of the beautiful comments people made, and also say that this afternoon is kind of amazing evidence of what I came into this event wanting to emphasize, which is that the communication department has a fabulous community and a really accomplished group of students. And can we start by just doing a hats off to Hannah Brodsky? You're a really good host. This was beautifully hosted. I loved the commentary, the praise, the reaction, the responses. It was just you did just a beautiful job hosting. So thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I always say this, but over the years, I've been really struck by the remarkable community that the communication department Senate creates. And over the years, I've seen that on the third floor of Ely, right? It's quite wonderful that you have these production spaces on the third floor of Ely, that the classes all take place, that the hallway celebrates the accomplishments of alums. Of course, this year you had to move community out of the third floor of Ely and move it on Zoom, but you did it, right? I mean, the communication club met regularly. I know that Professor Cahill and probably others hosted the networking night. I heard from students that Professor Saito still would sing on Zoom. Is that true? So many of the traditions from the third floor of Ely carried over to Zoom. And what I've seen over the years is that the communication department nurtures community, whether it be in the physical space, the TV studio, the radio station, the Voice, the third floor of Ely, but also in all of these virtual spaces you've created, as we have, and I'm sorry to say the word, pivoted this year. And I know you've all been nurtured and supported by this community. What I've also seen in evidence this afternoon, but also, in watching all of you over the past few years, is the integral role you've played on campus, the leadership positions you've held, but also you're central to our media on campus. It should come as no surprise, right? But you lead the Voice, you keep the radio station going, you keep the TV station, the TV club. You're really central to our internal communication, but you also represent Westfield and the communication department externally through the work of the Advanced Public Relations Department, through your amazing internships and your kind of role in the community. I didn't know that you had an award that spoke to that kind of connection to the community, but it makes sense that you do, because I see the many ways the department contributes to the community. And I also know that you've accomplished a lot in your classes. I hear your professors tell me, my students did great work in the social media class or in the health communication or the honors seminar or video production. So you've just been amazing, and you kept it all going during a pandemic. That's really extraordinary. So we are proud of you, communication class of 2021. And I hope it has become abundantly clear this afternoon, if you didn't already know it, that you will always be invited back, that you always have a home here, that the community that was created on the 3rd floor of Ely and over Zoom in this pandemic year is one that will always be your community. It will always be your community. And I'm excited to see the ways that you contribute to the communities you join. As we heard from Erin, you've been beautifully prepared. You will be, you have the hands-on experience, but you also have the theoretical and ethical education that will guide you. And so I hope you stay in touch and come back to this community. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. I'm wildly impressed by you and by your department.
Thank you so much, Dean Emily Todd. We really appreciate you taking some time out of your day. And the comm department loves you too. We love when you interact with us and come to our comm club meetings and stuff like that. It's always great to see your face around. We're going to take a moment to acknowledge our interim provost, Robert Kirsting has popped in. If you want to say a word or two, or just introduce yourself. I thought I saw his face. Here he is.
You did see his face. Hannah, thank you. I would say a couple fast words. I would let folks know how amazed I am at the work that the faculty in the Department of Communication has done this year. During these last 18 months in COVID, all the shifting and changing and adapting that had to be done put a tremendous strain on the institution, and the work the faculty and department did was amazing. On that, as I watched the awards and I looked at Honor Society inductees, I heard about the work that people have done, students have done this year. I am just so amazed at your work. And I simply want to say congratulations for those who won awards, for those who are getting scholarships, inducted into honor societies, graduating, or continuing your work at Westfield. I really want to congratulate you on getting through this year. That is by itself an amazing feat. And I just want to wish everyone tremendous luck in this next year, when I hope life is far more like it used to be, and we can return to things far more like they used to be, both at Westfield and the world around us. So I have tremendous hope, and I think your experiences this year will make you stronger, better people as you go forward. So thank you for your efforts and congratulations, and a quick thanks to Tom for inviting me.
And thank you so much for popping in and those awesome words. You know, the community that the comm department, I think it's been iterated about 17 million times during this, but the community that we have here is unlike any other like academic social community that I've been a part of. And it wouldn't be happening without people up higher like you know what I mean, and facilitating the things that you do. So we appreciate your role. Thank you so much. We're going to move on to our last kind of rollout for the students. We have a little bit of a slideshow, and we're going to read the names of the graduating seniors. Presenting the class of 2021.
Okay, so I will begin the presentation. So welcome, congratulations, class of 2021, and welcome to the world. You are no longer students anymore, you are in the real world. So welcome, and we are looking forward to hear about all the things that you've been doing with your life, and we know you're going to come back and visit us sometime. So please let the names roll. So Cheyenne Alcombright, concentration, media arts, and analysis. Samantha Arnott, concentration, public relations. Aliyah Barros, concentration, media arts and analysis. Jenny Beardsley, concentration, journalism. Grace Boland, concentration, public relations. Jessica Brink, concentration, public relations. I'll hand it over to Professor Cahill.
Hi, you all. Congratulations to all of you from me and Wilfred, who I'm so glad that a lot of you have gotten to know this year over Zoom. And I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Jessie Malley, who is not one of the names I get to read, but she was one of my TAs this year and did such an amazing job in Human Comm. Could not have done it without you, Jessie. Really, you're a star. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
No, you were really like, absolutely like a colleague, not just a student, but also a colleague. So thank you. Okay, so let's see whose names I get to read. So, Danielle, how adorable is that? Congrats to Danielle Boudreau. That is so, so cute. What a great photo.
Thank you.
Congrats to Hannah Chadwick, concentration in journalism. Sylvia Siborowski, another amazing student. She was one of my interns this semester, did a great job, media arts and analysis. Congrats to Daniel Coakley, journalism concentration. Congrats to John Collins, public relations, and one of our award winners, I think participation, like connections to the community, right? So congrats, John. Congrats to Lindsay Corbett, public relations, another adorable pair of photos. Very cute. I like the slippers. Oh, I know that guy. All right, I'm turning it over to Nigel.
Thank you very much. And again, congratulations to all of you. And Hannah, you're doing an amazing job. So I'm very impressed. It looks like you're ready to work on the View. Only with more spontaneity. I will be happy to read this list. Jenna DeLisi, congratulations. Concentration, journalism, and media arts and analysis. Trevor Edwards Kemp, concentration, public relations. Connor Flanagan, concentration, public relations. Jackson Foote, concentration, media arts and analysis. Gabrielle Forcier, concentration, communication and culture. Jack Fugere, concentration, public relations and media arts and analysis. Thank you. And here's Tom.
Yeah, that looks like a future college professor, don't you think? So congratulations, everyone. And I will just go straight into calling out the names. Eamon Galvin, Public Relations and Media Arts and Analysis. Lily Galvin, Public Relations. Emily Gatewood, Media Arts and Analysis. Noah Goddard, Public Relations. Zara Gonzalez, Public Relations and Communication and Culture. Andrea Gatta, Public Relations. Hunter Harpin, Public Relations.
All right, looks like it's my time up. That is me at the tender age of, I think, 7 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, at Canada's Wonderland, hanging out with my buddy Scooby-Doo. So, congratulations again to the class of 2021. James Hart, concentration in journalism. Danielle Houdon, concentration in media arts and analysis, and a member of the social media crew. Antonia Irving, concentrations in public relations and media arts and analysis, and another member of the social media group. Kristen Jacobs, concentrations in public relations and media arts and analysis. You'll never look at dubbing the same way, Kristen. Lila Kaplan, concentrations in public relations. Caitlin LaFerriere, concentration in media arts and analysis, and also a member of the social media cadre. I will now turn it over to the wonderful Dr. Sinek Kang.
Thank you, Chris. Okay. Yeah, it's such a the great pleasure to congratulate everybody. And so I'm also honored to read this graduate the names. So Gina Magrios, concentration public relations. Jacqueline Mohani, communication and culture and public relations. Jessica Molly, and communication cultures and public relations. Devin Menji, media art and analysis. Ismar Martinez, concentration, communication and culture. Paulina Magiars, in concentration, media art analysis. Next will be Professor Mark Nimcock.
Hello, everyone. Congratulations to all of our wonderfully resilient and talented graduates. And it's my pleasure to read the names of Cameron McCullough, Public Relations and Media Arts and Analysis. Kennedy McKelvey, Communication and Culture. Megan McLaughlin, Public Relations. Kristen McNamara, Communication and Culture. Julia McNulty, Public Relations. Savannah Mendes, Public Relations. And now on to Liz Preston.
Let me unmute. Thank you very much. Like Maddie, I would like to take a second to thank Jenna, who was my TA this year and was willing to brave coming to campus for an in-person class this semester, which was sort of beyond what anybody could have been expected to do. And I don't think, as Maddie said, I don't think we could have made it through the semester without the TAs we had. And I certainly felt that way about Jenna. Jenna has been so integral to everything that's been happening in the studio for these last 4 years that it's a little hard to imagine what things are going to be like next year, except that we're hoping she'll just sort of stick around. We have a scheme in place. So that said, I would like to congratulate the following people. Zachary Milozowski, who concentration in journalism. Michael Moriarty, concentration in journalism. The ever-talented Mike Nielsen, very much media arts and analysis. Felita Neves, so I'm sorry, has left, concentration in public relations. Jarvin Neves, concentration in media arts and analysis. Amanda Quinn, concentration in public relations. And on to Professor Saito.
Thank you. I'd like to share just a few words in the short time. And I'd like you to, everybody to keep dreaming really, really big, dream really big. But at the same time, I'd like to remind you that you are all doing it already, that do the most mundane thing with the best effort and the whole heart in it. Doing the most mundane thing with the whole heart and the full energy, as long as you don't get sick, right? Just to do the best you can with the most mundane thing. And then with a big dream in mind, you will go so far in life. Wish you good luck and the good health, everybody. Now I get to read the wonderful names. Johnson E. Rivera, concentration in journalism. Dean Roberts, concentration in media arts and analysis. Catherine Robrish, concentration in journalism. Rebecca Rockne, concentration in public relations. Tori Slattery, concentration in journalism. Lindsay Stanico, concentration in media arts and analysis. Kenneth Sullivan, concentration in public relations. Congratulations, and now I'm passing it to Yuan.
Thank you, Max. I want to echo my colleagues in congratulating the class of 2021. It's been a heck of a journey for you guys, and we're all so proud of what you all accomplished. And I'm honored to present the following graduates. Brianna Thurber, Public Relations. Joseph Tierney, Public Relations. Anna Twite, Media Arts and Analysis. Christian Waluski, Journalism. Alan Walker, Journalism and Communication and Culture. Nora Warren, Public Relations. Juliana Young, Public Relations. Congratulations, class of 2021. I'm tossing back to our wonderful MC, Hannah.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah, it's been a long ride, and I think that this hectic, lovely Zoom has been a wonderful and fitting way to sum it all up. I wrote some closing remarks. Pardon me if I get emotional. I have been saying the word I should be graduating with this class because I graduated high school in 2017, and you know, commonly within our society, people are doing college within 4 years. I took a lot of classes with the kids in these classes. So for me, watching my friends graduate has been a really proud moment and really nice, but also been really hard. But it's just reminded me that I'm lucky to be at Westfield and be on a path that it's flexible and the professors are willing to work with you and do what's best for you and your degree. Before we finish up, I just wanted to say thanks to all the professors and all the speakers that came today, all of the seniors that took time out of your Sunday. And I know that you guys want to be at Foxwoods right now with the rest of the senior class, but thanks for coming for a little bit. And I just wrote something kind of corny. So without further ado, me. Maddie, Katie, and I, the Calm Club members and the professors, have had the wonderful opportunity to get to know a number of you within the past years in the communications department. Whether it was a short conversation on the 3rd floor of Ely, popping into the WSKB studio, or a vibrant advanced PR group chat for Boniface's project, the memories shared and the lessons that we learn will guide us through young adulthood and hopefully have us looking back at Westfield State fondly. I'm sure that none of us imagined that our final college classes would be online. Frankly, I don't think I even knew what Zoom was in March of last year. But from those same little boxes on our screens, today we have the opportunity to come together to celebrate you guys. Thank you guys for coming. And I know I can speak on everybody in the comm department when I say that the class of 2021 will be missed. To end the speech, the event in a perfect Hannah Brodsky fashion, I'm going to quote Elle Woods in her commencement speech to her fellow lawyers at the Harvard class of 2004 commencement, in which she says, and I think it's very applicable, I'm not just saying my favorite movie, it is with passion, courage of conviction, and strong sense of self that we take our next steps into the world, remembering that first impressions are not always correct and that you must always have faith in people, but most importantly, you must always have faith in yourself. Thank you guys for coming today. Congratulations. You all are going to do amazing things. And the professors and I and everyone in the comm department and everyone at Westfield are so looking forward to see all the great things you do. You can throw your hats up again if you want.
Before you go, I'd like to thank Hannah and Maddie and the Communication Club for their input and work on all this. For those of you who got the $1 in the mail, sending something out was Hannah's idea. So we just revived an old tradition that Professor Abar used to do. So I hope you spend it wisely. And I want to thank Chinook and Max and Chris and the folks who helped put all this thing together. It takes a village and it takes a community, and I really appreciate it. I think it's a real testament to the value of the Communication Club and to the respect that this university has for all of you, that we had the outgoing president, the incoming president, the interim provost, our dean, all showing up to express their gratitude and their appreciation for the comm department and for its students and faculty and staff. And so I just want to thank everyone again. I forgot to thank Suzanne Boniface when I was talking about the Weffing Scholarship. As an alum, she's the role model that you all want to follow when you go out into the alum world, because she's put back into the university way more than she ever could have gotten for it in her first 4 years. And she's the reason the Weffing Scholarship Fund really exists. I mean, she organizes with me and the golf tournaments, all the fundraising things, but she does so much more to keep our alums active. She's very active in the Alumni Association. So you'll probably be hearing from all those folks. You'll be in that list. I sent out emails to about 2,000 alums yesterday about this event. So you'll be on that list now instead of the graduating students list. And we hope that you'll always come back and really take to heart what Dean Todd was saying, that this community is always yours, and you'll always be welcome back, and we're really not going to be happy if we don't see you again. So, you know, we want to see you, and we want you to stay in touch as you make your path in this world. You're going to make a difference, and you already have. So thank you once again. Congratulations.
Tom, this is Michael Kramer. Can I say a word?
Hannah's in charge.
Hannah?
Absolutely. Please go ahead. I'm hiding my tears right now, honestly.
Well, I graduated in 1982 from Westfield State, and Edwin Abar was my professor. And I've been working for 38 years in the sports broadcast television business, and it's been great. And it would have never happened without Westfield State. The internship I did at WGBY TV was the beginning of everything. So I wish you all the best. And yes, I can come back, because I think because of Zoom, I was able to come back. It's 39 years later. So I wish you all the best.
Michael, you've got to send us your email so we can be in touch. That's a great story. Okay.
I mean, I watched Ed, build that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fantastic, and he worked so hard. And I have the image of him because I'll never forget it, just how hard he was working all the time.
Gosh.
So,
I interned at GBY in '83, but you probably had interned there in like '81 or something. We just
correct, like the second half of '81, and that was just the greatest because we were working, because Ed had built that television production studio, so we knew how to run camera, and they needed us to do everything for PBS, and
yeah.
It's all because of his crazy energy and here I am. I'm 60 years old and still working.
Put your email in the chat so we can get you in our little alum network.
Yeah, and I did get the email from Tom, or somebody sent me an email, and I'm like, I got to get in on this, and I'm just so proud of all you guys.
Thank you so much for being here.
All right, you got it. Take care, everybody.
Professor Goen, could we pause the music for a sec for our
Sure.
musical interlude? So I think I know that the graduating seniors would not want to leave a comm event without hearing the blessed, lovely vocal workings of our very own Max Saito. So with your permission, I would love a 2021 rendition of There's a Light in Me.
In a wonderful journey together. Our journey will continue, but there's sometimes a moment we can just stop and just appreciate who you are, of course. And please always remember, you are so beautiful, wonderful, precious, just the way you are inside out. Please always remember that. Okay. So during the song, in the middle, we will pause and you'll contribute. Okay. There's a light in me, there's a light in you. Whatever language you speak, whatever your point of view, whatever people may say, whatever people may do. About what tonight?
The future.
Graduating.
Class of 2021, baby.
2 more.
Woo!
Getting vaccinated.
We survived the pandemic.
All right. There's a light in you. You must let your light shine through. You must let your light shine through. Congratulations, we miss you.
Thank you guys all so much for coming. Seniors in the fall. Oh my God, you're not seniors. Alumni in the fall. There will be a homecoming, usually around October, second, third week in October. And we'd love to see you there as alumni. Some parting pictures. Feel welcome to stay and you can share memories, talk to your professors. A lot of them already left. Jesse, Sam, I love you guys.
Hannah, Tom Convery from the alumni office. Phenomenal job.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And I appreciate the shout out to homecoming.
Tom, great to hear your voice.
Always you too, Maddie.
And even as alumni, me and Maddie will still be in the comm club in the fall. So we'd love to have you guys pop in, having conversations with alumni is how, like we've said this entire presentation, how you build future endeavors. Also, these pictures are so cute. Sorry, I was just pausing on young Max. I didn't even realize that was him. So definitely keep in touch. add all your professors on LinkedIn right now if you already haven't.
Thank you so much, John, coming. I appreciate it.
Oh.
One last time for everyone that's here. Congratulations to the class of 21. Crazy that you're all now alumni, but welcome to the club and don't be strangers. Stay around. Thank you guys all for coming.
Thanks for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm totally gonna come visit.
You are so awesome.
Christopher, are we going to play music?
Can you hear me? Let's see if you can. Is that better? Can you hear it? I recorded this and it'll be live on YouTube. It'll be on YouTube a little later on today.